Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing all right. Counting down, I see. Today, we're going to be working on a bit of world design. I've been changing up a few things here lately. So previously in the world, I can't show you now because I've gotten rid of everything. We had it to where you would walk up to a scene, walk up to the edge of it. It would trigger the scene transition. It would fade to black, swap your scene out and everything. Now, what I'm working on instead, if this still works, I haven't run this yet, is more like an open world thing. So where, like this will do it further away, but it'll load up the world dynamically around you so that you can just keep running around. And we should trigger another one here in a second. And so you'll come through, you'll fight all these enemies, do your whole thing that we've been doing in the videos. And these scenes are pretty big, as you can see. So this is one whole scene that we've been through here, and then we're about to trigger another one. Should, if it doesn't break, and it broke. So yeah. Anyhow, that's what we're going to be working on today. No, we're not going to be working on the code of that. We're going to be designing the game and looking at how this works, sort of adding some stuff to that we can use for it. I like that, but will affect the performance? I don't think so. There's been some things I've been working on. One of the things I had to fix, it was a pretty smooth one here, as you can see. And the reason this works is because it's threaded. And as you can see, it does a whole flickering thing. I'm guessing thread things, whatever. But it creates the thing in a thread and then adds it. So I don't see any performance issues coming out of it. But my computer's a little more powerful. I'll have to get this tested, so I'll have to see about that. Add funky mode, please. I don't know what that means. I actually get to see one live. There you go. So, it's broke like your money. No, it's perfect of the other one. It's not fully implemented. It's still working on. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be taking a look at that. Maybe designing some scenes, showing you how this sort of works, and doing some more art to sort of spice up the area so it don't look so bland and open. Like we need bridges here. We're probably not going to do bridges. Bridges. That last bridge I made for the depth video took just forever. Oh, you have a crap computer if you need to test? Or VM. That's good too. I need to test that. That's actually a really good idea. Thank you, Nikki. I'll try that. Just join what's going on. Well, I'm explaining now. Sort of looking over this. And as you can see, this is what I'm using to build these out. And I'm actually building these out with a tablet, but, it's just, for now, I'm having to do this manually. So, like, say, if I want ground here, I have to go there and draw something. I'm going to be doing a level editor probably soon because I don't like how tedious this is. But I've worked on some things such as getting things to snap to the walls here. Because as you can see, we tile these up or whatever. And so there's that. And then, let's see. And then when I'm building these, I need to have a preview here. So I can actually click this here and it'll load the areas nearby, which is useful for loading. That's the area that it should have loaded. It looks like garbage, but we'll ignore that fact. And yes. Why don't you use Linux? Because Windows is easier. I'm a very simple man. I like simple things. Windows is simple to use. I used Linux back in college. And just, how about using virtual machines to test on crappy computers? Yeah, we're doing that. I had an idea for a combo attack. Maybe if you just attack after rolling, you trigger a super... something like that. Frenetically free if you don't value. That was a joke somebody made. Not a joke, but maybe, well, kind of. They said Linux is free, but it'll cost you your time. It's not really free. How about an inventory system tutorial one day in the future? Oof. That one took me like a week just to do my inventory system, so I don't expect a tutorial on that. So yeah, we don't have a lot to decorate this world with right now. We have these little grass bits. But one thing I want is more flowy type grass. Not really flowy, but well, kind of maybe taller grass. We did some concept art recently. Let me pull this up. If I see, and sort of give you, like, in case y'all haven't seen this yet, to give you an idea of what we're aiming for. There's also going to be another thing about this. You'll see here is I have a map ID, which is overworld. And what this does is it stores these in a dictionary based on that key. And so this allows us to have multiple dimensions just by changing this map ID. So one thing I would like to do, it's not a, canon, not guaranteed, but it's something I really want to do, is to have like a subterranean layer as well. And so it could have some biomes that you travel through, like maybe a cave system that has that mushroom stuff that we've talked about. That would be really cool, I think. So let me pull up this mock-up right quick for anybody that hasn't seen this. We did here. So yeah, so we did some mushroom stuff. Might continue a little bit of that. I really want some grass though, and gotta work on this water a bit. Lots of stuff, lots of potential. We might even just build a world. We'll have to see what y'all want to do. Are those paths through the river going to be like that, or are you going to? I'm going to add bridges. That's just temporary for now, just to tell me where the bridges are, basically. While there was no video last week, because I had a hitch in this at the very last minute, which made me scrap half of my script. And so rather than rewrite it, I just didn't do it. And then I instead did Ludum Dare, which if you haven't, I posted a game about it. There's a link in the description for you to play my entry, by the way. I'll show it off right quick, but that's not what this video is about. So we got this pretty cool little game. Little brick smasher thing. So yeah, if that interests you, you can play that down in the comments. And if you participated, if you leave feedback, I'm playing as many people at the games as possible that left me feedback. So just clear this right there. There. And then you get the idea. There's like 4 levels that you can play through. Pretty good stuff. All right. Could you go into details on how you set up the weapons, like the sword, how it rotates? I will mention that in a video at some point, not right now, because I get that asked a lot. It's pretty much many times, and like I'm planning on making a video on it, probably a Patreon post, a free Patreon post, because I get asked that about just about every day. I like your sales system quite a bit different from how I'm doing it, but it's very neat. Did you say that you stream? Let's see, that you stream in the other areas in another thread? Yes. Right now it's just a very simple thing. I can show you all this right quick if I can find it. So level, I think if I remember correctly, level is the main thing that handles my yeah, okay. So here you go. It's a load cell. It's grid based, so there's no fancy half grid cells or anything like that, or no. Which I would like to do to have some variation, but given the way I'm planning on doing this, I don't think it's necessary, because one of the ways I'm thinking of doing is once I make the level editor, I don't have to work on it individually like this. I can just say open level editor, and it's going to pop up the whole world that I'm looking at, that I'm like as if I was the player walking around it. And ideally, I would like to be able to make changes, and then it detect which cell that goes into, and then apply those changes there. And so I could just open the world up and modify it on the fly without having to go to individual cells. That's the idea, but we'll see how that goes. So yes, it loads the cell, and I think all it does is it just calls this method, which adds in the it just, for right now, it just lays the tile map on top of it. So there's no combining or anything like that. It's multiple different tile sets. But that's not how I want to do things. The reason it does that is because if I set the tile map in a thread, then it crashes the game if I do it in certain ways. It took me a while to figure that out, which was the hitch in the script. So I'm going to have to find a different way to handle that. Probably through some yields and weights and stuff like that. Well, not weights, but yields and time checks, and I don't know. Like, do it off in the distance to where you can't see it, that kind of thing. Because it's awesome. Thank you. Now, let's get to work. I think I've explained enough. What do y'all want to do first? I really want to get some grass going. The trouble with me and getting this environmental stuff down, I would have a lot more from now, but I'm terrible at environmental stuff. And making a whole stream on it's very risky. It's always risky because there's the chance that this isn't going to go well. So, I want to do some tall grass. We're going to try that and see how long it takes before I give up. Hold on right quick. Let me switch this over to screen cap so we can get that. Get distracted and go off schedule. That's usually what I do. Let me just switch that, and we'll take a screen cap and get started. Okay. Alright, so we can probably build some things later on too. I would like to build some more level stuff out. Sort of, I'm still learning how I want to do this, so none of this is, you know, set into stone. There's a lot of testing, a lot of testing that has to go on this kind of thing. Alright. Distraction dance. Usually the beginnings are very distracting. That's why I'm explaining what I've done recently. Oh no, I've been distracted. I read your name is Distracting Man. What's that one that does a little dance? Goldenrod would look nice. What do you mean goldenrod? Oh wait, no, isn't that a flower? Yeah, something like that. We need to do more flowers. Yeah. Now these are going to be tall grasses. Oops. They're probably going to be 12 by 12. Let me load up the default palette. And what color is this? Okay. Should have these for grasses probably. Now, I have tried this on multiple occasions. I think twice now. This will be my third time trying to figure out how to do grass. But we'll get there eventually. What I'm thinking, what I would like to do is do something that's sort of easy to tile, because I want to have a tile map to where I can say in the editor, be like, I want these tiles to be grass, and then when the game is loaded, it will take them and it will create those tiles and then place them. I might even be able to do this. I've been looking a lot into particle stuff, so could potentially do this with particles. I think that might be more efficient. But I want to place a bunch of these in the world, and then, you know, do the whole, like, as you walk through it, they rustle, that kind of thing. Oh yes, tall yellow flower that grows in the field. Yeah, I took me a while to remember that, but you know, hey. Hey, why don't you add boss battles? I will get to that at some point, Mr. Jackson. We don't even have a dungeon yet, though. But we'll get, as soon as we get the dungeon going, which is what this is leading up to. So, the whole idea here is that we're going to make the, like, you'll have the town, you'll walk, like here in the demo, for say, you'll start out here, you'll go up here, this is the dead end. This is really big, though, so we'll have to figure something out. And then you'll go here and then, like, dungeon somewhere around here, you know? Like, this is what we're doing, is we're building up to be able to build the dungeon. Originally, I was going to do, like, cells, like, individuals, like, closed off, like, let me pull up the other one. Is it this one? This one. So, like, where this was an individual scene, but I think I would rather have it an open world. Now, another idea what we're looking at here is to sort of keep things sort of open, and when we start out, and then gradually close in around the player, so that we have this type of level to where it's real overgrown and, you know, harder to move around. This world is enormous. Like I said, we're still figuring that out. Because as I was walking through that earlier, I was like, yeah, this feels really long. So it's a lot longer than I expected. So we might lower things down. Everything's still being developed right now. All right. But back to my attempt at grass. Until I get distracted again in a few more seconds. But yes, it is an open world game. Like that is the idea that I want to do. It's inspired by Link to the Past, which is where, like, I mean, they still had their scene transitions, but it was still a somewhat open world, other than the few restrictions that you have, which mine will have restrictions. You're not gonna, like, when I say open world, I don't mean you'll be able to go anywhere at any time. It's just, it's open that you can explore and unlock things, rather than being a linear path or just very tightly enclosed, you know? I want to make it look real. As real as I can in a 2D environment. Alright. Now, one of the things here is you notice we're using darker grass for here. I like how that looks, but for the tall grass it might not make sense. It might be one of the issues I've had one of the issues I've had. So let's just fix this camera right quick. That looks to be, I'm gonna say -2, but I feel like it's just 1. Nope, we're good. And that's still off. Am my tile stretched? Surely not. Let's go 5. That works. Okay. So that might be why I was having issues earlier. Was I was trying to make like this grass type thing. 30 likes on the stream, 0 dislikes. Well, now that you said that. Hey, Game Endeavor, I made a game for Ludum Dare. Please consider playing it after the stream. If you posted about it in the Discord or if you've left me feedback, I will certainly get to it. Just like any key said. I've been playing anybody that plays and leaves feedback on my game. I have been getting to, up to this point, I've done everybody that has played in my game. So, that's the best way to remind me. My game had issues right off the bat. For some reason, when I first did the export for the HTML, I did it normally. Well, not normally. I did it with the debug or whatever, and it was fine. But I misdid the name. It was supposed to be bricked out, and instead I said it's bricked in, and so I fixed it. But this time I did it without the debug, and I didn't play it again because I didn't change anything except for that debug thing. So when I came back to it, people were like, "Oh, the game's broken." Oh, good. And I spent like half an hour trying to figure out why, because it was only broken on itch and nowhere else. Like it wasn't broken on the game, it wasn't broken anywhere else. It wasn't even broken when I did the HTML5 local play or whatever. And then I was like, hold on a minute. The only thing that's changing is that debug variable. And so I changed that. And so like my first 11 votes have with a broken game. So now I feel like crying. It's pretty sad. So yeah, probably ruined all that. I'm probably going to have like the last place game. Such is life. Okay. I will use a pen tab instead of, yes, Sir Ruin. I cannot do pixel art with a tablet. Well, without a pen, without a tablet, yes. Hello, Sharma. Yeah, Sharma. Let's see. That doesn't look too bad. I think we can extend this down a little bit. Hopefully, I don't want to spend too long on this grass, but that doesn't look too bad for a silhouette. Granted, the silhouette's not as important, maybe, because it's just grass, but still. And it's going to be a lot of tile up on top of each other. And we're going to have to do a bunch of these, but I just want to get the idea down. And so that would be that we take this, and then we make another one, but like sort of offset it a bit. Let me, before I do this, make a new layer so I can sort of demonstrate how this looks. So as you can see now, I would like to be able to place these and have them Y sorted, and I think that'll look all right. It's one of my best attempts at it. It looks like a bush. I mean, it's not like a bush. It's supposed to look like tall grass, but I think that's as close as we're going to get, if I'm being honest. We're going to brighten this up a little bit, though. I don't have the color that I want for this. Lower the saturation. The colors is going to be difficult, too. I've always had trouble coloring these because in my previous game that was similar to this, but not this, I had trouble with the colors. You know what? I'm happy with this silhouette. We're going to put this aside for now before I ruin it. We're going to do something else, and I'll come back to it later. Because, I mean, don't fix what ain't broken. That just might be the only thing we do with it. We put that in the game, and that's beautiful. Do you own Photoshop? I do not. I've never used Photoshop, if I'm being honest. Really looks like a bush? Really? Doesn't look like a bush to me. You ever seen a bush? I'm not sure that you know what a bush looks like. Speaking of bush, we should do some bushes. Looks like an 8-bit golf at that zoomed out resolution. GIMP is the best image editor. GIMP? No. GIMP is alright. It's good for image processing. I wouldn't use it. Oops. I wouldn't use it for art, if I'm being honest. No, I've never seen a bush, but I heard a story where bushes look like these. You might have got a bad description, but that is something we need. I want some stuff to decorate the world with. So I'm thinking more trees, better trees than what I've got. I've got garbage trees. I hate drawing trees though. Trees, bushes. I want to do some dark grass. Just something I need. I want to do some water stuff too, like some little waves. I need to really up my water game. My water game is pretty terrible. Krita is for art. Yes, Krita for art. But not pixel art. I didn't like it for pixel art anyhow. I'm going to do... Now, we're not going to get to everything I'm going to mention here. This is just stuff that I want to do in general. Way too short time to get to all that. Joel, I severely disagree. I actually disagree. So much my gums started bleeding on how much I clenched my teeth when I registered them in my gum. That is harsh. That is harsh. But I think I agree with you, Zach. At least I can feel comfortable saying that now, and that if I get burned to the stake, that you'll be right there with me. No, GIMP's terrible for art. I used it for art for the long time. Before I heard of Krita or anything like that, GIMP was the only thing I used. I found out about it because I did, when I was young. Oops, God, I'm just throwing my pen around. When I was young, I did a little bit of modding stuff for Stick Soldiers 2, I believe it was. And they had Targa files. So I'm like, what in the world is a Targa file? How do I open a Targa file? And it turns out like it was like GIMP. I was like, okay, then that was the first time I used GIMP, and then I used only that for like 8 years. It had to have been like 8 years. And I was like, GIMP's great. You know, it's really good. And then I used Krita, and I was like, GIMP is terrible. GIMP is so bad. so if you've only used GIMP, I would try something else. But I've never used Photoshop, so I don't know how it compares to Photoshop. You could look at Minecraft to get ideas for decorations. That is true. God, pardon me. They don't have a lot of decorations there, do they? They have those trees. They have the different types of trees. I need different types of trees. I only have one tree. But I really hate doing trees. I need to practice I need to suck it up and get better at trees. So I think later on I'm just going to draw a bunch of trees. Might do it here. Because if I don't do it, I'll probably never do it. When it comes to bang for your buck, I imagine Krita is better. Well, I mean, they're both free, so I don't know what you mean by that. Again, what about stones? They could be nice decoration if done right. I have enough stones to be happy with. I need to redo some of them. I'm not happy with all of them. Okay. I'm going to try. Let's get back to... I don't want to do this. You know, I'm also worried that this doesn't really fit the game that well. Everything else sort of has a different look to it, I think, maybe. We'll have to figure it out. Also, that's the wrong layer. Alright. What paint animation program do you use? I use Sprite. Yes. It's good for pixel art. There's more information about it in the description. Alright. Let's go with the bush. So with the bush, I don't know how I want to do bushes though. I really shouldn't be doing nature stuff. Let's see. I am doing, this is a 12 by 12. Bushes can be more than 12 by 12. In fact, I'd say they don't have much of a grid requirement. Get the player in here so we can see. What do I want to do this bush with? Let's grab some wood. Oh, let's see. Trying to get a decent stump going. Now this is sort of the way this stream's going to work. It's going to be sort of fast-paced, switching around things. I'm doing concept art basically for how I want things to work. I'm not going to go full in on something. I just get an idea of what shapes things take, what colors I'll be using, that kind of thing. I'm going to tell you that's going to be terrible. I'm going to be using a big brush, just sort of blocking things out. Why not put some trunks for decoration? I have one and it needs redoing because it looks like garbage. So yeah, we'll do that as well. I'm going to pull this in as a reminder because I really need to redo that trunk. I'm pulling in a tree. Do I have a tree in here? I don't. So yeah, let me grab a tree right quick. We might even do some trees. I really don't want to do trees, but we might do some trees. So let's pull in a tree. Let's pull in these rocks. I like this rock. I don't like these rocks. Let's do some rocks. I'll tell you what, I'm decent at rocks. So that'll warm us up, get us going. So I'm a big fan of your work. Teach myself from your videos. Please add join button so we can support your work. Oh, you talking about the members thing? I've been thinking of doing that. Do you mean the members thing? So let me grab this. Oops. It'll probably just be like my Patreon though. I don't want to have to manage both of them, so probably do them both the same. So yeah, we're gonna sort of. I really like how this one looks. Let's do some rocks. All right. I said just they should get this going. Here, let's grab this as well because I have no issues going above. My payment is getting rejected in Patreon. Please add the button. Okay. Well, I'll look into that. It's weird. Is it possible to make a huge boulder with carvings on them, like a face or something? If we're going to have face boulders, we have to have a reason for having face boulders. Like, why do they have a face on them? Are there any plans to add some type of multiplayer? I'm not sure that it'd work with this type of game, but it would be cool. There will be local multiplayer. This might be a frequently asked questions in the comments. Not in the description. There should be at least multiplayer, like local couch co-op. I would like to do LAN multiplayer, but I've never done LAN multiplayer before, and I don't want it to drag down development. So that is we'll see. It's not too bad of a silhouette. Ripfly, yes, Ripfly. Oops. Let me go ahead and save that because that's going to be a thing. All right. Nice rock. Well, thank you. Oh, you gone, Mr. Jackson? No. So let's see. I'm doing that. Let's add a bit of that. Alright. Then we need... Actually, I'll put this on its own layer. We will have a layer... Whoops. And then we're going to group these. I think this is the other one. Yes. Nope. There. Will there be a place like in the mountain with snow? That's considering it. The rock shape is just X flip to the first rock? I don't think so. I think it's similar, yes, but I mean, there's only so many different ways I'm going to be able to do these. I don't think it's close enough to be an issue. And plus, you're going to use the same silhouette so long as you change the shading. If you're fancy enough and do enough tricks. Whether I'm fancy enough or not, that remains to be seen, but we'll see how it goes. So I always found it a bit amusing how I'm decent at rocks, but I can't draw a tree to save my life. It's weird. A rock enemy? We have one that we started working on some time ago. But I haven't animated him, and plus he looks too simple. I may try him again at some point because my skills have increased since then. Where's he at? Oh, here he is. This little guy. So the original idea, which is this is sort of changed too, was that he would be like an alternative to mining. I don't know that I'm going to have mining in the game though at this point. But like you'd find him and you could take him out and he'd drop ores and stuff. Yeah, he's very basic. Like I said, he was like probably the first few characters that I drew. So we'll have to try it again. I mean, granted, I haven't drawn that many since then, but you know, I've drawn a couple. Your boy, you just joined. Well, just welcome to the stream. You joined at a time when I was showing an old piece of art. All right. What's going on? We are drawing just things, warming up with some rocks. Later on, we're going to try some things like maybe try some trees. I want to try trees. I need trees. That shadow is starting to look a lot like the other one. Pine tree. Maybe. I think we should do a birch tree. Maybe a pine tree. It's not going to go well, though. I'm going to tell you that now. I don't know what it is about me and trees. I just can't do it. You need the trees. We do need trees. I just really don't want to think about it. Oh, let's see. Someone's got a weird... This looks like a pile of rubble. Will you put some smaller ones? What's not canon? Oh, the reference to 100,000 cookies. Yeah, 1,000 cookies is not canon. I don't know. I should have put that in the stream, the video. Exactly. If something seems off, it's probably just a joke. I do weird things where I make jokes that are very subtle. Like, I don't know, that's weird. Like, if something doesn't seem 100% legit, assume that it's not with me. Will you put some smaller stones? Yes. I need to do some smaller ones. We'll do that too here in a little bit. Probably the next one. Because these are pretty big, actually. Now that you mention it. This looks a little silly, having all these big rocks. Squirrels are evil, though. That's the fact of nature. Oh, anyway, bye. I came to say about Hero and 02. I must have missed it. Sorry, bud. Take it easy, Falcon. Let's do this. Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong layer, though, but it'll be alright. I'll probably get removed and forgotten about. Ah, this one's looking... It was looking good, and then somehow I ruined it. We'll just push some pixels around until it looks best and decent. What about boulders? Pushable boulders and boulders with emotions and feelings. You want to get the boulder's character depth, huh? Probably not, no. I'm not too keen on pushable boulders, to be honest. Like as I mean, I don't know how serious you are about that, but as a mechanic, you know, in games where you push boulders and stuff around, I've never been too keen on that, if I'm being honest. Shading on the rocks, cool. Well, thank you. Still working on this one. But it'll get there. Just gotta figure it out. I am by no means a great artist. a lot of this is me just pushing pixels around until I'm like, yeah, that looks all right. Oh, I'm still learning things. I'm not weak, but I can't just shove a boulder that's rough my size. That is, I don't know. I mean, if it's round, you might be able to, right? Like, no, actually, no, that's not true either. Boulders are pretty dang heavy. Well, maybe if you had a hill that the boulder was standing right next to. There you go. And you had a stick. You can change the grid size. Wait, oh, never mind. You're not talking to me. I was about to say. I did. Oh. Let's change his shape up a little bit. Oh, that looks a little better. This is right flying to go. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You are fine, Mr. Hacker. As the thing streamers do, they often assume that they are being talked to. You notice it a lot. It can make for some funny situations. I've ruined this. I've ruined it. I give up. We're going to go for a smaller boulder. I'll come back to it later. That's sort of the thing, though. Like, I don't want to spend too much time on one thing. I want to get a bunch of things done, and I can polish them up later. I just want to get a bunch of general ideas down. Polish takes a long time, and it's not really what I'm after right now. Right now, I'm just after concepts. Well, how should things look in the world? I'm gonna sleep. See it. Well, you take it easy, bud. He looks like he has. Oh. One rule for game of the year is: can you pet the dog? Yeah. Well, we don't have a dog yet, but you'll be able to pet Truffles and the fox and all the pets probably. Are you gonna make everything procedurally generated? Like, almost nothing is gonna be procedurally generated. Quite the opposite, Mr. Parvati. I should stop saying Mr. It's never meant to be taken. It's like it's not meant to be actual Mr. But that assumes more than I should. I do a weird thing where I call people Mr. But generally, I do that in person when I can confirm they are indeed a Mr. or Mrs. I do Mrs. too, but internet's weird. You know what I'm saying? Still ain't gotten used to it. Okay. Smaller boulder. How small? We have pebbles, by the way. I've just been forgetting to add them. We have these pebbles, which for some reason don't have auto title on them. I just forget to add them. Do I want to make a smaller collider? Because you can't collide with these. They're just for decoration. Do we want to make bigger rocks that are still collidable? So everything will be procedurally petable. There you go. There you go. That'll be the procedural generation we do. More, I mean, not procedurally. In a way, like the player's probably going to have the pet animation that you've seen in the previous video. The one where he jokingly pets the skeleton, which more people took seriously than I expected. That was one of those, it wasn't meant to be serious things, but hey, it'll probably be a little Easter egg. You've never called someone Mr. There you go. Oh, it's a thing I do. I used to have a cat, Mr. Buster Rhymes, and it was a female cat. I just tend to call things Misters. One of my weird quirks. Why the cat was called Mr. Buster Rhymes, I don't know. I was like, probably about 8-ish. I don't know. You can put water lily, or yes, I want to do some water decorative stuff, and so I haven't thought of lotus, but yes, lilies are planned. But we should do lotus too. Let me make a note of that right quick. Will there be a way to upgrade weapons? I would like for there to be. It's not going to be, it's too far ahead to really talk about that right now. But ideally, I would like to have either that and or an enchanting system. Personally, I like games where you can upgrade your gear and stuff. But that all depends on how in depth we go with this game. So that's still, we'll have to wait and see about that one. Lotus. I'm just gonna throw a quick card right there and pick it up later and put it into the. I have a trailer card for actual water decorations that I'll add that to later. Now, I have to be careful with small rocks that we don't make them too round. That's one of the reasons I don't like these rocks, is they're very round. And this one particularly I don't like the shape for. This one looks like eggs. I think it's because it's too round. I don't know. This one not so round. That's probably one of the reasons I like it. It's not very round. This one looks like an alien pod or something. Like some kind of carapace. Whole game is getting bigger and bigger. Thank you. It's that's the idea. I mean, we're still, we still only have this so far, but hey, we'll get there. Agreed, the middle rock looks best. Yeah. So I want to do some more like that. Right now we're going to do some small rock though. So that is the goal, to see how small rocks look. And we'll see. I'll still look at this rock and sort of get an idea for why this one worked. I really like how this flattens out here. I think this could probably be improved. Maybe. It looks a little weird. How long do you plan to work on this game? 3 years. That is the idea for right now. Granted, keep in mind that it'll be my first time planning such a big thing. what are you doing today? Today we are sort of getting an idea for how the environment is going to look. So I have this world, this open world that I'm building here, to where you can go from this here to all these areas, and the area will be loaded in dynamically. And we're sort of thinking about what we can put in between here, like the bridge here, what kind of trees and rocks and grass and that kind of thing. What's the hardest part about learning and using Godot? Same questions for overall game development. Godot, I wouldn't say there's anything hard about Godot, to be honest. That was one of the things that I enjoyed about it. The hardest part for me, and I don't think this is I don't think this is the case anymore because we've gotten to a point where we're past it. But when I picked up the engine, it had just transitioned from 2 to 3. And so there were some really big changes to the code that made a lot of tutorials obsolete. And so it was difficult to know what was useful and what wasn't. But I think we're at a point now where I haven't seen any Godot 2 videos or any tutorials or information like that. So I don't think I see an issue anymore. But that was what it was for me. But other than that, I have not had any issues with Godot. Well, there was that debug thing from earlier. That probably cost me a good rating. So I'm a little sour about that one for a little bit. Four is coming with GD script changes. Vulkan rendering. Yes, 4 is going to change tweens a lot. And I'm not looking... It's a good thing that I didn't do a whole bunch of tweens in my videos, right? I'm not looking forward to all of this no longer works comments that's going to come. Oof. Oof is what I say. When is 4 coming out? I wouldn't know. I would like to know. Because there's some things I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I don't know. Hold on. That's bad for me. I just started using Godot. Well, hold on. Is what you said bad, or the fact that we're changing tweens? Once you the way the tweens work now, they seem fine. I'm personally not a fan of how they're chaining the tweens. I personally have no issue with how it's handled now, where you would use delays and stuff. I think it's easier to do, a lot less confusing, because I can just add a delay variable and be like, delay it by this amount, and every time I increment, it's just very easy for me to do. But we'll have to see. I haven't used it, how they're changing tweens in 2, so we'll have to see how that goes. And I'm not one to like to gripe about things until I have it in front of me. So we'll see. Sorry, Mia's late. Welcome to the stream. Avoid the issues with changes to GDScript. Use the eCMA branch and code in. I don't know what any. I understood a couple of those words. What if instead of a bunch of rocks stacked up, you use one big rock? Well, I don't know how to do that and make it look not like, I don't know. I don't know how to make that look interesting. That looks terrible. Why is that? That looks like a jelly bean. I'll have to do some studying on different rocks, because I don't want it to look flat. And I don't have, I'm using a very simple shading style. Have you ever coded a 3D game? Not a finished 3D game, but I've worked in 3D before. I've worked in VR before, actually. I was gonna make a VR game, but just as a hobby thing. But yeah, I've worked in 3D before, but I've never made it. This looks terrible. Let me bring this out a little more. I would like to do some more work in 3D. The thing about 3D, though, is that I'm not familiar with it, so I can't work as efficiently as I would like to. Granted, I'm sure that goes up with experience, but I tried making For very basic things, I have no issues with it. But I tried doing something a little more complex. It was like a spaceship type thing where you would steer a spaceship around. Because another one of my dream games, probably about as much as this one right here, is granted I don't have any unique ideas for it like I do this one, but like a spaceship simulation type thing. Where you fly around in the ship, you can buy goods and you can take down pirates and all that fun stuff. And I've had issues finding one that really sits with me, that's well balanced and no issues, that kind of thing. So I think I would like to make one, but when I did it, like, I just felt like I was not getting a lot done, and so I just didn't really carry on with it. Can people see my suggestions? Yeah, well, yeah, maybe warm highlights and cool shaders. Is that not? I'm kind of what I'm doing. Like, I don't know. Kind of like my shading. I think it works for me. But that is kind of what I do. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of hue shifting. But that's just my style. I like how it looks when you do a lot of hue shifting like that to sort of darken up your shadows more and stuff like that. But for me personally, I like to use this style where it's got some hue shifting in it, just enough to darken your shadows and make them more cooler, but not so much to have that sort of style to it. It has my style. This is what I define as my style. This boy is confused. What are you confused about, Si? You are underutilizing the darkest shadow color with the new rock compared to the first one? Yeah. There's also a lot of... that's true. Probably should do more of this, because there's less of this here than that. Are you using a specific palette or just colors you find fit? I'm picking my own colors. I think there's a mention about that in the description about why I would recommend that you learn to pick your own colors. Like, using palettes is good to get you started, but at some point I think you should pick your own colors because it defines your style. And when you're making your own game, I think having your own style really help you sort of figure out your game. Like, sort of have your game stand out as yours. I'm spending too much time on this. All right. I feel like, because somebody mentioned earlier, like having a single rock. This is one of the issues I don't like about it. I feel like this is too much, and I feel like I break it up like this. But then it looks like it's two different rocks. I don't know. It looks actually like bread. Wait, are you using a tablet? I am using a tablet, and I highly recommend you to use a tablet. Try making the rocks look more jagged. This looks terrible. I like how this one looks. And I think that's about as I want to just sort of keep that look to it. I don't think it needs to be any more jagged than that, because the jagged, I feel like the smoothness of this one really sits well with the cartoony style. And I think jagged might get rid of a lot of that, and it's not really what I'm personally after. How did you learn game development? It's one of the first things I did. Like, I didn't learn to program. I sought out to learn how to make games. And so I have a whole video, not a whole video. I have part of this in a video. If you'll look up before the devlogs, I did a video, my 10K special, that sort of talks more into depth about this, like what language I started with, how that transitioned into things like Game Maker and Unity and stuff like that. Distraction dance. You'll find just magic that I do that a lot. That's sort of the point of these streams, though. Like, in my opinion, I like to do these streams because it lets me interact with y'all. Like, I enjoy the y'all part. I'm just also drawing during the process. So I'm more interested in and more personally into the distractions. Like these streams only go for 2 hours. I'm not going to draw a whole lot in 2 hours. That is not my main goal of these streams. Now, like with exceptions, like the NPC streams are nice because we can design these NPCs together. Do you like streaming on YouTube than Twitch? Yes, which is why I'm streaming here on YouTube. I tried Twitch for like a week, and YouTube was so much better for it. More people, more y'all come. It's with YouTube. With Twitch, it was more. I had to do it more frequently. I think you had to do it like 3 times a week just to sort of stay relevant on Twitch. And that's more than I want to do because I need to do things like write a script, edit videos. That wouldn't leave me a lot of time for what I do. So, yeah. What times do your streams start? They start at 10:30 Tuesday. No, not 10:30. 12:30 Tuesdays in the afternoon. Eastern Standard Time. Just do what you like to do. I appreciate that, Matthew. I really do. Because that just, yeah, it means a lot to me, bud. Thank you. Is this your full-time job? It is full-time work. I wouldn't call it a full-time job. I haven't got to that point where it pays off like a job yet. It's, I'm making more and more. It's getting to be decent, but it's not nearly enough. It's starting to pay the cheese bill. Let's put that off. Let's say that. Oh, you heart me. Well, I heart you too, bud. I'd say you're already a YouTube heavy creator, so doing Twitch at the same time is difficult. That was also the other thing. Doing my streams on YouTube, I can just focus on my YouTube community instead of having to grow both. And already my plate's pretty full. So like being able to focus on one of those is a lot nicer. I can just grow this community instead of having to grow both. So I really like that. Oh, yeah. I got really distracted there. Let's work on some trees. Love your stream, first time. Love your stuff, first time catching a stream. Well, welcome to the stream, bud. GE making a convincing argument to continue this comment. What comment are we talking about? Make a convincing argument to continue this comment. I still don't know what you're talking about. All right. People let the boy concentrate. There you. Well, like I said, I enjoy the interaction with y'all. Because I mean, if it wasn't for the interactions, right, it'd just be me drawing, and I'd just be sitting here quietly. The whole point of these is to interact with y'all. Like I can draw quietly tomorrow, What is it tomorrow? I think that's the plan. My plan for tomorrow is to draw quietly, and I can sit there and do more concentration and stuff like that. But right now, I just want to chill out with y'all. See what y'all think about the game. See if y'all have any suggestions, that kind of thing. Just hang out. I just don't like how high that is. I thought I moved that down. How about playing words with the chat? What do you mean by that? Hey man, recently found your videos and I really love to see your progress. Super cool that you live stream. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining, Kevin. If you're having a hard time filling the space, forgettables might be the way to go. Forgeables. For what? Forageables. I don't even know what that word means. I don't know. I give up. Why don't you forage? Forageables. Got you. Oh, interesting. Forageables. I had actually considered forageables. Like you talking about like a berry bush or something like that? That's an interesting idea. Yeah. Let's try that. What about some, not a bush. I'm tired. Oh, let's finish this tree first. We just got this started. This trunk is already in the wrong way, but remind me to do a mushroom here in a little bit. Oh, why don't you use Unity? Because I prefer Godot. I used Unity for at least a year. I think it was probably a little bit longer than that. And I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I picked up Godot and found it to be awesome. You want $50? I mean, I ain't gonna turn it down. Is Godot easier than Unity? It is easier for me, but it is different for everybody else. So that depends. Whenever people ask me about engines, my thing is, try them all. Try whatever you want. Like what? Try them all. Do what you want. Sort of figure out what works for you. I don't know. Yeah. I would highly recommend it. Actually, it's pretty basic and powerful. Are we talking about Unity still? I mean, it depends on what you're doing. You just realize so many people are looking forward to your dream game. Are many people looking forward to it? I don't think it has gotten to a point yet. To me, it still feels really niche. That, because I mean, I don't know, it just hasn't. I know, but what if you could trade moon blossoms for a night vision potion with a crazy witch that I forgot the name of? Selena would be the witch name. Moon blossoms. There's a really great book titled Processing for Visual Artists on how to create visual stuff like trees, rocks, etc. using computer code. Interesting. I worked in Unity Engine, Godot, and Unreal Engine, excuse me, and some others, and I like Unity the most. The machine learning part is awesome, but each engine has its own power. Yes, there you go. That's what I was trying to say. Like, each thing has its own perks that is unique to you. Like, your experience will be different than my experience. So my suggestion is to try it and see what you think about it. Because my experience will be different than yours. Me personally, I like an engine that is powerful, but very simple. Like, just as simple as it can be, but powerful, so that I can easily do powerful things. I'm weird that way, because I mean, Unity is very, very powerful, but in my opinion, I found it to be really clunky to use. Just to even do the basic things, like to make a basic platformer, to me, would take forever. It would just take forever to do a platformer. I tried all that. Like, I don't know if they've implemented any kind of automated way of doing things, but anytime I wanted to do a platformer in Unity, it took me forever to do it. In Godot, I can make you a platform in like 10-15 minutes. You know, it's not an issue. And so, but at the same time, I can make this open world game, you know? Okay, gotta go. I'll sketch the next stream too. I'm looking forward to seeing you, bud. Oh. Yeah. That chunk. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not the worst chunk I've ever made. I want to bring this tree in here, so that I can have a reference. I hate this tree, though. No, it's right. I really do hate this tree. But we'll use it for reference to sort of... Oh, those colors are pretty bad, too. That's another thing I've always had issues with, picking trunk colors. I don't know why. I'm just terrible at it. Are you doing an infinite world like Minecraft? That would be cool. No, I'm not doing any kind of procedural generation at the moment. Are the villages you have there would be randomly placed? No procedural generation. Everything is going to be hand built. This is how the town will look like when you get it. Now it will be, well, not here. This is just for me to draw on, but it is going to be an open world, such in the vein of like Skyrim meets Link to the Past. That's sort of the idea for the world that I'm doing. What color is this here? Did I just make this color up? It's not in my palette. I guess maybe it should be, because that's not a bad wood color. Second Breath of the Wild, or 2D Breath of the Wild. I haven't played enough of Breath of the Wild to say that. I think I got off the cliff. I got the hanger and went down the cliff, and it's like, okay, that's good. And then I haven't picked it up since. So I can't say. I hear Breath of the Wild's very open-ended gameplay though. Like it does, it's not. They don't try to direct you in ways. Like I still want to. Like I want you to be able to run around and explore things, find dungeons, find caves. Explore like I would when I was a kid playing Link to the Past. But I still want there to be like a direction that you go to, like a main quest that you go here to do this, that kind of thing. Let's see. Try to make a second RPG in Godot 2. Can you give me some tips about the game art? Yes, practice, 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 practice. Hello, I'm back. Well, welcome back, bud. Let's grab this. Oh, well. Let's grab this. And I'm going to start on a new layer here because I don't want to ruin my tree here. I like that this curves a bit. I don't like how straight this one is, but we'll see. So we'll see how this goes. Ambitious, I like it. Just don't get caught in feature creep. I don't think it's concernable. Because as I said, I'm well aware of the issues of feature creep. I don't think it's a lot of features. It's just a lot of content. Which, once I get the workflow down, I don't think it's an issue. Like it's making the world. The only issue I can see is making it interesting, like making sure that all of it's interesting. It's not going to be massive by any stretch. It's probably going to be about the size of Link to the Past. Link to the Past. Yes, maybe a little bigger, but that's like it's not going to be like it is. I'm expecting it to be just me doing this. And I'm only planning for about 15 hours of gameplay if you just do the story stuff. So I'm not expecting a massive game here. But at the same time I would like to make it like an open world game. Like I said, like Link to the Past. But yeah, I am aware of the potential for feature creep, but I'm not concerned about it. Because I don't think it's to be concerned. It's just like I said. I even mentioned this in the devlog. It's more content than features. And so long as I can make interesting levels, which I think I could do, then that's the only thing I'm concerned about. This tree looks terrible now. Jeez. Okay. Let's see. What size are we going here? Let me offset this. Nope. Let me move you up here by yourself. There. Boop. Have you ever thought about adding passive wildlife like birds, deer? Yes, that is a thing we'll be doing. Why are you here? So yeah, that'll be a thing. I'm probably going to be adding that. We probably might do that here in a little bit. I'm glad you reminded me because I wanted to do fireflies using my lighting system. I wanted to do maybe some butterflies fluttering about. What about neutral mobs? That'll be the thing too. I don't remember if it was in the devlog. I might have cut it out because I was short on time. But when I introduced Truffles, I had a bit where I said there's going to be other pigs in the game, but Truffles is going to be unique. He's going to have his own skin. He's going to have his own AI. But there will be things like chickens and pigs, all that kind of stuff. There will be passive mobs in the game, yes. Will there be beaches and French fry birds? I don't know. Beaches possibly. Well, not French fries. This is a very primitive time setting, so they probably wouldn't have fried foods. Beaches, it's not on my to do. I'm not too much of a beach guy. I mean, granted, I'm not against it, but of my choices of places to make, beaches would not be high on the list. I'm more of a mountains kind of guy myself. So there will probably be mountains. want to figure out how to do that. Currently, it's a little tricky. Have you created any bosses yet? Not yet, but that's going to be very soon. So with this, you can see here we have the little cliff here. And the way I'm doing that right now, I don't like how I'm doing it. But is I have these here, different layered cliffs. So this will be the bottom layer. This will be the top layer. And so, as you can see here, this grass here is different from that grass. However, I have implemented it. It's currently in here, but I haven't been able to test it because of the way Godot works. But once I build my own level editor, ideally I should be able to keep these as one tile map. So these cliffs here. And so I should be able to stack up cliffs on top of each other. And the way this works is by adding my own layer system. I think I already have it here. Yes, so you see here I have a layer 0, layer 1, up to 2. And I mean, that's just a limit I set in the code. It could go higher. It's just a number. And all it does is it modifies the bit mask based on what layer it's on. But the reason I can't do it in Godot is because whenever you set a tile, it then sets the tile of all the tiles around it. But the way I have it, and I don't know how to get around it, is that it sets it based on what the layer is currently. And so it goes, you're layer 0, and then all the tiles around you, you're also layer 0, when they would have been layer 1. So they get flipped. And not sure how to do that in the Godot editor. So once I can get around that, I would like to fix that. What if there were an enemy that drains your green bar? I don't see a big point in that because the adrenaline, it just comes and goes. What about turning off the auto tile? Oh, you mean like disable auto tile? Well, I don't want to do that. A lot of the code I've written has been done so that I don't have to disable auto tile. So like I wrote code earlier that takes tiles here and fixes that automatically, where I don't have to do it manually, which I was doing. And ideally I want to save as much time as possible, and I don't want to have to do that kind of thing. What do you think of game school? Like going to school to learn how to make games? I didn't go to school to learn how to make games, so I don't know about that. Can't really comment on that. How do you animate tiles? You make a animated sprite resource. So if you go here, grab animated texture, you can then go boop, 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 add your frames here. And then when you do that, it'll animate through them, which is how you can see what I'm doing here. That's a scam, same for graphic design. I wouldn't know. Now that I look at that tree, it looks weird. Looks flimsy. Oh well. This tree, it's not terrible, but it's also not as thick as I want. Let's see. The tree seems a bit short. It does actually, now that I look at it too. Okay. We can fix that by just lowering this. Good call, good call. What about pine trees or just different types of trees? Yeah, we'll probably do some pine trees. I don't know how I want to do pine trees. We'll probably take a look here in a second. Just trying to figure out the silhouette for this tree. It's coming along. Maybe add a hole on the tree stalk. Not sure what you mean. White birch trees could be nice. Yes, I agree. We might do some birch trees here in a little bit. I think this might turn into a tree stream. It's just gonna be concept art. I'm not gonna take the time to do all the little pieces because trees take forever. But I think we can sort of hash out some silhouettes, get an idea for what we're doing. At least give you something you can put on your, well, yeah. I haven't tried to get into the game development industry either, so I can't know anything about that. Everything I've done for game development has been for either myself or small studios. Cherry tree. Do I want to do a cherry tree? I have to look at what a cherry tree. I'm not even sure what a cherry tree looks like. Aren't they round and don't they turn pink? No, I'm thinking of cherry blossoms. I might be thinking of cherry blossoms. I don't know. Art takes a long time in general, depending on who you are, but yeah. Sakura trees, I believe so. Okay, let's move on to something else. That one, not too bad. Let's keep looking at it here. The top might be a little weird here. About spruce, yeah, we'll probably do some spruce trees or pine trees here in a little bit. Just a second. Just gonna continue on now a little bit. Probably have to pick up a reference for a spruce tree. Your trees have completely different colors from the wood on the buildings. Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's refined wood. It's this is meant to be bark. And this is not the actual tree color right here. That's just something, I don't even know where I pulled that from. It's not in my palette, or it wasn't. I had to edit because I kind of like it. Because I hate this here. Maybe make a hole in the tree. I don't see how that's going to make a big difference. Like that's more detail oriented stuff. Right now I'm trying to figure out the silhouette. A willow tree. Willow trees are pretty. Look up a willow tree. Because with this, something I'm wanting to try, I don't want to get too overboard with it, but with certain things, environmental things, I would like to do some more, I don't know what you'd call it, but like this right here. Like, I don't want to shy away and do like I can do this kind of stuff. I don't want it to bog down development, but I would like to do some really pretty things. Go overboard, some environmental pieces where people are like, oh, that's really nice looking kind of thing. Rather than, a piss poor tree like this right here. Get some cool stuff going. So a big willow tree would be cool. Let me pull up Pinterest and look at willow tree right quick. So get an idea. We might not do it right now, but we can get an idea. Because that is very detailed. I think that'll be hard to pull off in my style. Because there's a lot of detail that goes into a willow tree. Because of the way their leaves are very... That's the thing about willow trees. That's sort of what makes them stand out is how their leaves look. And so I think that would be very difficult to do. Oh, I love this. Could you imagine this in like an enchanted forest type thing? Little fairies fluttering about. I think that would be cool. Lights help to achieve that effect. I like that right there. That looks pretty good. Extend the branches. And again, do a brush. So let's see. Let's look up. Let's pull this away for a second. Let's look up spruce tree. But I want to do pixel art so that I can get a better idea for different approaches I can take for pixel art. Because me, I'd probably overcomplicate it. Are you going to add my type of armor system? If so, how? I don't know what you're talking about, your armor system. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot with armor, though, to be honest. My current thoughts for armor is I want to do as little as possible. And I don't even think I'm going to do, like, what I'm thinking of is maybe, like, take the Final Fantasy VII approach, where you just get, like, one piece of armor, and then it can be modified. So, I mean, I'm not thinking too much about armor, to be honest. Because in me, I mean, when I was younger, armor was cool. Like, I enjoyed Morrowind, where I could mix and mash up all these armors. But as I got older, I'm sort of like, armor is just whatever, you know. I don't think as much about it. I tend to think more about weapons and abilities and stuff like that. That's pretty. I think the willow tree and avatar could look cool in your game. Avatar, like the airbender thing, I haven't seen much of that. That looks decent. Why is there not many pixel art trees on here? Let's look at my pins. I think I have one for trees here, Summers. Where? Get some over here. All right, let's see. There's a spruce tree. There's a spruce tree. We might look at that one. Let's look at, where was it at? Was it that one? No, what should this one? We could do something like that. It's a bit chunkier than I would think. No, not images. Have you played Hollow Knight? I've played part of it. I got to the second boss, I think. The little the lady that does the dashing around. And I'm not a very skilled gamer. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. And she whooped my rear end. So, yeah. So I played her. I probably tried to fight her like 10 times, and it just didn't go well. Alright, back to the tree. Are you adding lore to your game? I am indeed. We already have some lore. It's just not widely known. Alright. Pine tree. Let's hide this guy. Alright. So let's get, what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll get the main silhouette going. Just sort of get the shape. Pine tree will be nice for when we start getting into Christmas stuff, which is something we'll do here probably here in a second too. I just now remembered. I need to make like a jack-o'-lantern, because somebody has been pestering me to add it to the logo for the channel. So I'll have to. So we'll probably make a jack-o'-lantern here in a second, just so I can sort of incorporate that. And then we'll put it in the videos and start decorating the stuff. Tell us of lore of your, and now and yonder of your game. You'll get more of that in the demo, ideally. That's going to be where we do a lot of the lore to stuff. Right now, we're still hashing it out with a super secret group. Oh, not that. It kind of irritates me that the R key, which does this sort of blurring, is right next to my E key. And it's in such a way that when I do this and I hit the R key and I start blurring, it makes me think, oh no, my eraser's broken. But no, it's just the wrong key I pressed. No spoilers? Yeah, no spoilers. The art reminds me of a lot of Stardew Valley. I don't see it, to be honest. Stardew Valley has a very rather detailed art. I'm going for simple and cartoony. My art is probably more inspired by Link to the Past. Unbind, then? That would be a good idea, actually. I think it is the blur key, right? Let's see. Is it here? Keyboard shortcuts. Yeah. Brilliant idea. Thank you. Because I never use it. All right. I wonder if I can bind two keys. Hey, there you go. I had to unbind text and tool shop. My text tool in Photoshop because I spent a lifetime wasting my time pressing about painting. Imagine blurring pixel art. Yeah, I never understood that. Why it's so easily accessible. Like that art could be used for so many more valuable things. I don't know. I don't get it. No, that sticks that way too much. Man, this is terrible. Why is Mother Nature gotta be so hard? It's just the worst. I mean, it's also scatter tool, which is kind of useful. How did you start game development, and how did you learn? I started with the light. See, I talked about it in my my 10K subscriber special. If you want to take a look at that one, it goes into detail about my first language and that kind of thing. Yes, stream. Welcome to the stream, bud. Waterfall. Yes, we need to do a waterfall. There's a cool effect that Jake Friend, I believe is his name, he recommended to me that we'll be doing as well. I'm going to keep that a secret for now. I need to tell Key because I don't think I've made a card for it either. But there's a really cool effect that I want to try later on that we're going to do. That's not too bad. Not terrible. Cave behind waterfalls, though. Yeah, it is cave behind the waterfall, but there's a cool effect that I want to do with it. But I don't mind doing that one cliche. But there's a really cool effect that I have in mind for it. That's not like the whole cave behind the waterfall is not the secret part. Just the secret thing. Hey, he's here. So yes, if you haven't seen Jake Friend, he does the Scrabble. See, I know it's not Scrabble, not Scribble. Could you say? If you want to, you say your name, Jake. I always forget the name because it reminds me of Scribble because it's a very the aesthetic is beautiful. It's a very very cartoon like crayon looking Scribble aesthetic. It's beautiful. I think your title should be designing the trees. Well, we're doing a lot of different things here. I really feel bad. I might have to look it up. Hold on. I am going to pull it up because it's a beautiful game. Let's see. they've got all these trending tabs, which is annoying. Let's see. Actually, I think about how do I do this? Oop, that was not that. Get rid of all of that. And you're doing a terrible job of the one thing you're supposed to be doing. Oh. I'll figure this out here in 1 second. Just we'll get there. We'll get there. Here, what if I do this? Whatever. So here we go. Beautiful game. So go check it out. It is called Scrabdeckle. There you go. There you go. Sorry for that tangent. Okay, so back to the thing. Scrabdeckle. Not Scribble. By the way, I don't know why, but everyone who is changing or changed my life is bald. Coincidences. Don't think so. But seriously, my dad is bald. Bald people are important. The what? Scrabdeckle. Let's see. Here. Scrabdeckle. He's got a demo that you can play too. So if you want to go do that. See what the game's all about. It's a really good game. I'm in love with the aesthetic. It's one that I wanted to do a long time ago. Like it's the very sort of cartoony scribbling style. It's gorgeous. Like even before, like I wanted to do it to YouTube before I did Game Endeavor. I was wanting to do a YouTube channel where I talked about weird things like if you watch the last devlog and you've seen the little rant about how we live in a simulated reality or anything, that didn't just come out of nowhere. Like I wanted to do a video on this when I started before I started this channel, like probably a good year or two before that, talking about how the simulated reality thing and just some ideas about it, like object pulling, which was like if you don't know what object pulling is, where you create a bunch of objects and instead of deleting them, you just reuse them. So it would be sort of like a reincarnation system, among other various things that I thought would be hilarious as a simulated reality. But yeah, if we live in a simulated reality and there is an object pulling system, you probably had different paths of life. This is terrible. What am I doing? I'm not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Clearly, I can't handle this because that was just awful. I'll come back and do that later. The silhouette's not too bad. It'll change. I don't have to go through a lot when I do the actual proper art. To keep in memory, not waste CPU rather than create them again. Yeah, and so like if we are object pulled, then then again it's like, well, if it never shuts down, it would be an issue then, would it? But yeah, could you imagine? Okay. Gotta run, but I will catch the recording later. Good luck with the jack-o'-lantern. Good luck. Take it easy, Jake, friend. Hope I didn't screw up the talking about you. Oh, I feel bad. I forgot the name. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the jack-o'-lantern. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. What if after you die you turn into Skelly and you have to respawn a point, become human? No, we're not going to do that kind of thing. Nah. As amusing as that is, I don't think the player would really appreciate that much, especially if they just want to play the game. But it would be funny. We're just in a very advanced version of The Sims. One of my ideas, quite possibly. What am I using this orange for previously? This is a very bright orange. What color is this? I don't even remember where I'm using this at. That is a massive pumpkin too. Let's not make that big. Alright, let's get in here. Let's see. Just throw in a yellow. It's not going to be the actual colors we use. Just throwing down. Oh, no, don't do that. Let me lock that in there. Alright. Now the one... Gotta go have fun, everyone. You take it easy, Zadok. Appreciate you dropping by the stream, bud. Oh, let's see. When do you think the next devlog will be? The next, well, it'll be this Saturday. The one for this game will be this Saturday. I'm currently working on a devlog for the Ludum Dare. Ideally, I want to have out tomorrow. But that means that as soon as I finish the stream, I'm going to jump off here, write a script, and be editing by tonight. I can't promise that, but ideally that's what I want to happen. That's, usually after a stream, I feel like I'm a little exhausted and feel like just not doing anything. Is that why I sometimes forget what I was doing when I walk into a room? The overlord of the simulation just ended my task. Could be. He did a force quit. No, when I say simulation, I believe it. If we were simulated like that, it's probably more like we don't know about it, and then when we die, we just wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm a different person." So, is that a jack-o'-lantern? It is attempting to be one. We just started it, so like, I don't know what it is yet. Kind of looking down though. What are you drawing now? I am drawing a jack-o'-lantern, or attempting to. I want it to look a little more up though. This one I won't, because of the Halloween coming up soon. And I want to, for my Discord logo, I want to incorporate a jack-o'-lantern into it. So we're going to be using this in the videos, and for the Discord. 2 birds, 1 stone. Skeletons with pumpkin heads. Oh, we could put some skeleton skulls around here. We might do that too. That sounds really cool. Let's see. It would be cool if it was animated. Yes, we will animate it. Probably not on stream. I'm not too keen on animating things on stream because it's such a time-consuming process. But yes, they would most likely be animated. Is it an enemy? It could be an enemy. Well, okay. So, one thing I am planning is to have seasonal events. Like if you've played Terraria, you know that. Well, you probably know that. They do things like Halloween and everything. I would like to do something like that too, to where, Halloween and Christmas and probably some other times. If that's the system time, then we could do some cool stuff. Because I think that's a really neat feature that I would like to explore. It needs to be rounder. Yes, I agree. Not by much though. But this is looking a little flat. Also, I want to start throwing in some... No, not yet. Let's get the silhouette going first, then we'll worry about the shading. So I think it needs to remove a little bit here. Man, that was terrible. I think I'm going to get rid of this. Go back to the silhouette working. Chipping away until we get something a little better than what it was. I'm happy to see more development. Good to see it. There was development last week. It just wasn't a devlog because I ended up hitting a hitch right at the last minute. Like right before I was going to record the audio. And I was finishing up some things. And so it would have required me to sort of rewrite a few things. And so I didn't do the devlog, and then I decided, which wasn't too bad because it would allow me to do Ludum Dare, which I enjoyed this year. This is one of my best entries, in my opinion. What game is this for? This is for... I have a whole devlog series if you want to catch up on that. It's for my game. This is terrible. What am I doing? Zoe and the Cursed Streamer. Oh wait, no. Like, if you do know about the game, then just the one that I'm doing my regular devlogs for. Will you add more variation to the houses and villages? Yes, there will be actual decorations and everything. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Man. It's actually looking pretty good. I don't see how you see that. In my opinion, it looks just the worst. But I appreciate you. Let's see. What's on the back burner? Oh, yeah. Variation to the villages, yes. I found you randomly in my feed and I watched all your devlogs that day, and I'm happy to catch a stream. Well, I'm happy to have you here, bud. But yes, Town Polish, it's not something I'm really concerned with right now. At all. I'm more focused on gameplay right now. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the mouth looks terrible. I'm trying to make it look a little slanted, a little tilt, but I don't know. It's not working. Maybe if I'm thinking, for now, we can do a slanted one later. Let's do a more symmetrical one. Not completely symmetrical, but it'll be easier. And we can do another one later because I'm probably going to have different ones. Could make a scared pumpkin with an open mouth. Yeah, be different types. I think we're just going to do a pretty standard one right now. The mouth needs to be a little lower. Probably. I think everything needs to be a little higher. I don't want it looking down. I kind of wanted to try to make it look up a little bit, but it's not really working the way I want it to. And then this. Whew. Cyberpunk era is coming. Okay. Got to go. Great stream. See you next time. Well, thanks, bud. See you next time. Oops. Nope. Nope. Got to that. Now his face looks a little too rounded. Not too bad, I don't think. Okay. That works for now. For a simple straight on one, we'll probably, like I said, we'll do some other ones. I don't know about right now, but if you move the eyes and nose up a bit more, you could have more pixels to play for the mouth. Yeah, we'll look at that. I think the mouth is pretty good, though. The only issue I see is this one here. But I think that's pretty good. Okay. It's a little muddy. The trouble with this is going to make sure that that don't look banded. It's probably going to. Probably have to think about something there. What are the elements you are focused on more for the time being? Oh, hold on. If you, what do you mean by that? Like what parts of the design am I working on? Or just talking about this stream specifically? Or do you mean the game itself? Forehead should be 1 pixel shorter. I think the eye should be a little bigger too. What if we... Let me enlarge these first and we'll take a look at that. don't like how... Okay. A little better. Yeah. Alright. Yes, what elements are you working on for the game? First before others. Right now, let's see. It's a bit of a mixture because of the fact that I'm doing devlogs. But for me right now, I've got combat out of the way. That was the first thing I did because I wanted to make an role-playing game where combat was interesting. A lot of times you see these role-playing games, they focus more on the story and stuff like that. And while I want to work on the story, I don't want to see it... I don't want to... I don't want it to get in the way of like actual gameplay, so I'm working on gameplay first, and then story later on. Which I'm story right now, but it's not as big of a deal. And then gameplay wise, I am working up towards exploration. So building the world out and stuff like that, so that the player can run around in it. So that is my main goal right now. Is to try to figure out what about the how the exploration will play in a game like this. So mechanically, that's the main thing I'm working on right now. Magic spells should be shown in Grimoire. I don't know what that means. You could do like torches and have it flickering light inside, and the further edge inside are dimmer. I don't get what you mean. You can make the smile simpler and just keep it to it. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I have gone too detailed with this. That's one of the issues I have often with doing pixel art is I go too much detail. Don't worry about the height. I think that as soon as you put shade for the sides, it will look a lot shorter. So yeah, give me 1 second and we'll fix that in teeth. I appreciate you bringing that up because I agree. I went too detailed on this very simple game. Okay, so yeah, I think that's already starting to look better. Have it like a candlelight in the side of the pumpkin that has the flickering flame. Yeah. A long time no see. Well, welcome back, Potato Dove. Magic spell should be. Oh, there's it. Have it like a. Yeah. We'll be doing all that. We'll also give it a light source and everything. Motivation been going down. Why is your motivation going down, bud? Don't let that happen to you. That ain't no good. Welcome back, Crunkfus. Pardon me. That could be a little bit of an issue. I really don't like that color. I don't like that color. Let's see. Better. Hello, I'm back, but I need to sleep. But we'll take it easy, bud. Mouth just looks like a mustache. I don't think so. I don't think it looks too bad. Still working out the hashing out the details. These shading's terrible. The teeth don't look right. What if we do this? Bring this back further. Where does that look shorter? It's 5 pixels. Both 5 pixels. It's weird. Looks fine, but the head is too symmetrical, too centered. Well, right now, I'm fine with that. I'm going to do some more later on. This is more of a to get me in to sort of do one. Like I had issues with doing it slanted earlier, and so I'm doing a symmetrical one right now, just to sort of figure out how I want to do things. Also, I think I need to change the colors a little bit, tweak them a bit. You get astronaut gear. All right then. Hmm. I think it might just be the color green that hates me. Oh man, it's gonna take a lot of pixel pushing to figure this one out. But I think that's good enough for now. Let me fix this up. But yeah, I think that'll do for it for now. Just needs a little color adjustments and some more texture doings. This one, I was meant to try to get that to look a little more rounded, but it's not doing its job. What if we do this? Sort of bring this down a bit more. I don't want to have to throw in another color though. Hey, howdy, ILG. It looks so weird because I don't know, for some reason these are seeming separate even though if they're the same color. But I guess because of this, throwing it off makes it look a little weird. And I'm not sure why. Also, I'm going to pronounce these shading a little bit more. Howdy, Ivan. Welcome to the stream, bud. Have you ever tried Lua? Only for working on computer craft. I think they use Lua. But for actual use, no. Well, that added a good bit of depth, actually. That's why I like offsetting my shadows a little bit. Get some nice depth on that. Let me put this in here. Oh, I'm having a tough time deciding which engine is better. Should I use Unity or Godot? Use whichever one you're most comfortable with, bud. Ain't nobody can answer that question for you but yourself. Everybody has their own preferences and what they want out of an engine. Just look at them and answer which one does the most for you, that you can use it a lot easier than the other to do your day-to-day work, game development work. Not too bad. I'm actually a little happy with that. This feels a little high up though. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. I'm doing a little jack-o'-lantern for the October stuff. Too bad. Shakes a little. I want to straighten this up a little bit because I might need it to fit on the cog. Honestly, Godot is much better for beginners, and if you master it, it can be as good as Unity. Yeah. Probably want to make this look a little twisted. Might be difficult to pull off, but if we do like this, maybe a little lower. Maybe we shorten it a bit. Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the stream. I think I'm gonna call it there. That's good enough for me. Yeah. So that's where I'm gonna end the stream. Appreciate y'all coming by. I still got to do more stuff. I'm gonna try to finish up these mushrooms here because I want to throw these in a devlog for sure. Maybe start working on the subterranean layer, but that's not a guarantee. A lot of stuff to do. That's probably what I'm going to be doing pretty much all of tomorrow. Quite possibly a lot of Thursday is just drawing. I think it's pretty cool looking. Well, thank you. Spent a lot more time on it than I should, but you know, I'm still learning pixel art, so we're getting there. Hopefully I'll get faster at this kind of thing. I still got to animate it too. And I want to do a few more, maybe a little patch of them or something. I'll figure it out. Oh, I should also, like, pumpkins are cut up like that. The little stems are cut off like that. So, like, actual pumpkins that are growing would have the vines, whatever. So I should do some of those, like, actual pumpkins with the vines properly attached. I think that would look interesting if done nice, especially with a bunch of other pumpkins. I mean, not jack-o'-lanterns, because whoever carved them would more than likely cut that off, but yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, that's good. Hey dude, the progress you made in your game is insane. Having into account is a real game or a recent game. We're doing pretty quickly. We'll keep it up. Well, thank you. I'm a fairly efficient game programmer. Something I'm happy about is that I can get some code down pretty quickly, which allows me to, you know, make games at a decent rate. So yeah, progress. I'm really happy with how fast progress is coming. Usually, what slows me down is art, which it is. Like I don't have nearly as much art as I would really like to have, but because it takes me an hour to do a pumpkin. But I'm going to head out. So y'all take it easy. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Later.